Hey y'all, AK here from the cover band known as Flyby Radio. For those of you who are first-time listeners, welcome. And for those of you who have been listening, welcome back and thank you so much for the support on episode 1. Episode 2 of Cover on Covers. Pretty excited about who I've got on the phone today. Let me break it down for what I'm doing here for the newbies. I'm bugging all of my fellow musicians who are either in a cover band or in an original band and talk with them about the nitty-gritty, good, the bad, and the ugly of being on the road. So welcome to episode 2 of Cover on Covers with AK. Ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Melinda Guy, formerly known as Mrs. Melinda Trussel.
Hello.
How you doing?
I am great. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Just staying busy. Got shows
That's
this weekend, so oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I missed that part of it.
I know. It's like, it's so sad because I'm used to seeing all of these pictures and posts that you post from the weekend, and you guys always seem to have so much fun.
I know. It was a blast. It was definitely a good time of our lives, and I miss a lot of it and don't regret a second of it, even though I'm moving in a different direction right now. But yeah, we definitely miss a lot of it.
I know, and you're having a baby. When I found that out, oh my gosh.
Yeah, me too.
So was it were you guys planning on having a baby, or was this just kind of out of the blue?
We weren't preventing. We also did not expect it to happen so quickly. So it happened a lot faster than we expected it to, which we had everybody kind of has a little game plan in their heads, and it kind of got a little rushed, but that's okay. Everything works out the way that it's supposed to, I think.
Yes. I have reason to believe that everything happens for a reason, and everything kind of happens whether you want it to or not.
Of course. And you kind of just have to, make yourself right with it and figure out how you're going to do it.
Exactly.
It's kind of the same way I did, getting into the band stuff. I just fly by the seat of your pants kind of thing. And,
oh, yeah.
Not, again, you kind of have like a game plan sort of set in your head, but things change and you just have to roll with it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So what's it like? I mean, I know you said that sometimes it's a little bit more difficult. Some days are better than others with the pregnancy.
Oh, yeah. So pregnancy for me has been pretty miserable. I have to be honest. I will not be one of those that says it was all rainbows and butterflies and everything. Mm-hmm. There's been some good parts to it. Of course, being treated like the pregnant person, you get all the food first, and everybody at work offers you all of their extra food and sweets and everything. So that's been a good part of it. And getting to, feeling the baby has been nice. That's been a really fun part. I didn't feel her until pretty late in the pregnancy. I have what they call anterior placenta, so it's located on the front. So wow. I felt her a lot later. So once I finally did, that was really nice. But I spent my first 12 weeks miserably nauseous. And then after that, I felt okay, but then started the weight gain and the swelling and the back pains and everything else. So.
Oh, man.
Some days you wake
how
up
far along are you now?
I just started third trimester, so I'm 7 months as of yesterday, 28 weeks.
Gosh. It's getting close.
Yes. It's getting scary.
Awesome. Is it like a scary excited though?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Kind of like, like getting on stage for the first time. It's something that you want to do. But there's you're never short of those nerves.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess singing, being in the band kind of prepares you for some other things in life.
Oh, it does. The things that, you kind of just got to roll with the punches kind of thing. Oh, yeah. That's definitely sets you up.
Especially being the front person, because sometimes things just shoot at you and you really have to figure out like how in the next 5 seconds do I deal with this in front of everyone.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So going in from pregnancy to the band.
Yes.
So tell me how your girlfriend got started, because I only know bits and pieces. obviously you and I met when your girlfriend had already been around for a few years.
Mm-hmm. So how we got started, I actually had my first band was called Blackheart, and we were, I mean, not anywhere of the caliber that YG was, caliber, sorry, wrong word there, that YG was. We just, we played every couple of weekends, out and about, smaller gigs, things like that. Everybody in the band had regular jobs, and so it was just your hobby kind of thing. And that band kind of fell apart. But before it did, we actually played a show where we, I guess, quote, opened for the Velcro Pygmies. Mm-hmm. What happened was we had a show booked. The Velcro Pygmies were booked there the night before us. Their show the next day had gotten canceled, and I got a phone call that night asking. It was actually such a strange question. I got a call from Bill from Crescent Moon Entertainment, and he said, "Hey, I know that Blackheart has a gig at the North Tavern tomorrow night. The Velcro Pygmies were there tonight. Their gig tomorrow got canceled, and they want to stay." And at first, I was like really defensive. I was like, "Oh, so they're gonna take our gig?" And he said, "No, they actually want you to play. They want to leave their stuff set up and let you guys play on it. Not to insult you guys, but they've got a lot of stuff. They have big lights and a big stage show and everything that you guys don't really have because you're a smaller band." Uh-huh. And they said you could play as long as you wanted, and they would just play at the end, and they'd bring a crowd because they're established. They've been around a long time, and they will, put you guys in front of a lot of people. So we were like, okay. So we did that, and that's how I kind of got introduced to Cam and the Pygmies. So shortly thereafter, that band kind of, broke apart, and Cam kind of took me under his wing and just was really influential as far as telling me, this is what you need to do. You need a band. You need to be a singer. You need to be on stage. I want to find you a new band. And I kind of just blew it off for probably a couple months, if not longer. Uh-huh. I followed them around a bit, and I would just jump on stage with them whenever I, felt like it, and got up there and sang a few songs. And before I knew it, he had found this group of guys. He had made a post, I guess, kind of unbeknownst to me on Facebook, where he was looking for people. And he found this group of guys that was a 3-piece band from Georgia. And he sent me on a night mission to scope them out. So I went to that station in Gadsden in my work clothes from that day, just looking pretty rough after having worked all day, and sat by myself in the corner and watched the band. They were called Spandex XX at the time. It's just 3-piece, 3 guys, and they were doing all of your 80s hair stuff. The drummer was wearing a wig. I mean, this is all that ridiculousness. But I watched them. I sent Cam some videos. I said, they're okay. I like these guys. And they played a couple of Def Leppard songs that I was like, wow, most of your bands don't normally play this. So that kind of threw me off guard. And we kind of always joke that one of the songs that they played in specific, if I even remember it now, I know a Def Leppard song, but was one of the ones that really kind of drew me in. And next thing I knew, I was setting up to meet the guys in person, because I kind of scoped them out that night and then left in the middle of the show. I never talked to them or anything. Uh-huh. Next thing I knew, we were meeting in Chattanooga, Tennessee, at a Pygmy show. And Cam got me up on stage to sing like he normally did, so that the guys could, I had seen them play, so then it was their turn to see me sing. And before we got home from Chattanooga, we had a Facebook page, 1,200 likes, a band name, and there we were.
Wow.
Yeah. So Cam is a go-getter, and he set everything up for us. We had a photo shoot booked, and before we even really had a chance to really, say yes or no, we were sort of thrown into it, which I'm thankful for. But
yeah, wow, talk about a push.
Yeah, absolutely. So Cam came up with the band name, which he had brought up to me before, and it was just one of those kind of things. I was like, yeah, it's pretty catchy, it's clever. I had never really said yes or no to it, and it just kind of stuck. So we rolled with it.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
funny
cool.
story. And then from there, let's see, that was December of 2013 that we met. And by April of the following year, we were playing our own shows. So we went around with the Pygmies for about 3 months, I guess, just gathering fans and learning things and stuff like that, jumping up on their set. And the guys, kind of let Spandex, their band, fade out a little bit in those couple of months. Mm-hmm. And then as of April, we started our own shows.
So it was all of the people, like all the guys from that band, Spandex?
Yeah, we basically just merged. We took those 3 guys, and then because they were a 3-piece, so Nathan, the guitar player, he was the front man, singer and guitar player. So we merged, and I took on front person, and lead vocals duties. And the bass player, we actually switched out pretty early on. So most people don't know the original bass player. His name was Ben. And then we got Jake, who, most people that are aware of YG are aware of Jake. So yeah. He stuck in as the bass player. And then we had Nathan, of course, for quite some time. We did switch out and have Justin Harris with us on guitar for a while. And then at the end, of course, Nathan came back as we kind of took things to a halt for a little while.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Now, I'm curious, did you and Tony know each other before
we did not.
Your girlfriend?
We did not. I did not know any of them. So when I showed up that night at Chestnut Station, like I said, I sat in the corner. And it's a funny story to tell, and we will tell it because Tony stared at me all night. And he'll tell you. He said, well, you were one of the pretty girls in the bar that night. It wasn't a very packed night. And he said, I was wondering what you were doing there sitting by yourself. And then, of course, I got up and left before they, had took one of their breaks. Uh-huh. So he never got a chance to come talk to me. So they, until later, he actually, he didn't piece it together that I was there that night. And then he was like, oh, yeah. But I actually met them for the first time, of course, when we met in Chattanooga. Oh. So, and we didn't get together right away. That kind of happened over some time. So.
Mm-hmm. For those of you who haven't had the chance to hear your girlfriend, Tony is her now husband, but was their drummer. So
yes.
It's just kind of cute how it all evolved. I remember the first time I met Tony, and the first time the first time I came to your guys' show was basically the first time I met all of you. Was in Tuscaloosa at Rhythm and Bruce. And
absolutely.
You're up there singing, and you only see like the top half of Tony, because
yes.
Obviously there's a drum set in the way. But like when he came down to introduce himself, I'm like, what are you wearing? I'm just like looking at his shorts. I'm like, what are you wearing? He's like, what? Yeah. They're comfortable. Yeah. And they're just like these silk boxers.
Absolutely.
Like boxing boxers.
Yeah. Tony liked to wear his Rocky shorts, or his USA shorts, as we call them. That was kind of his drumming uniform. For a long time. It was no shirt and those silky boxer shorts.
Oh man,
yeah,
that cracked me up.
You got a show from behind the drum kit for sure when those things started riding up. So they were very long.
Has that ever come up? Like, has anybody ever come up to you and be like, "Hey, can you tell Tony to pull his shorts down"?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Most people, his kit was so big. You couldn't see anything, from up front or anything.
Oh man, did you
No.
ever see anything?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, it was just funny because they would ride up so short that he just looked goofy, just sitting back there with like what looked like ended up by the time he was, double bassing it all night, short shorts.
Oh my gosh, that's so hilarious.
Yeah, he loved those things that they became part of his character.
Oh, definitely. All right, so funniest moment on the road.
Okay.
At a show or something that happened in the van.
Yeah. See, being the girl in the van, we get in the midst of some really funny stuff being in the van with a lot of guys. And you also know, being front person of the band, that we see a lot of funny stuff from the stage. Mm-hmm. I think probably one of the funniest things, we were playing at the War Eagles Supper Club in Auburn before it was done away with. And we were at the hotel, which was right there next to the venue. And Nathan and the guys had this thing at the time where they just of course, joking around, liked mooning each other and catching each other off guard. And so we're in the hotel room getting ready for the show, and someone knocks on the hotel door, and Nathan tells us to open it, and I go to open the door. I can't remember if it was me or Rhonda that went to open the door, but Jake and Tony were not in the room at the time. Mm-hmm. And Nathan is standing in the middle of the hotel room with his shorts down, butt towards the door. And we open the door. He thinks it's going to be Tony and Jake. We open the door. It's not Tony and Jake. It's the pizza delivery guy who catches an eyeful of everything that he's got to offer. And I don't think he ever lived. So.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. I enjoy telling that story. Mostly because it does not involve anything embarrassing about me.
Oh, man. Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. There's been a lot of stuff that's happened on stage, too. I mean, there's the YG fans will tell you their favorite story, which is not one of mine. Funny stories, the cupcake incident. It was my birthday one night. We were playing in Birmingham, and an inebriated girl decided to come up and think it would be funny in the middle of the song to shove a cupcake in my face.
Oh, man.
Which I, at the time, got really angry about. But, looking back, it's all in fun, I guess. But they'll tell you that's one of their funny stories. They make fun of that all the time. And there's so many other times. I mean, everyone's got their moment of when they fell on stage. So that's fun.
Yeah.
Else.
I've got a few of those.
Yeah. So that always makes everyone else laugh. Everyone that it didn't involve at the time. So.
Oh yeah.
Good stuff.
Those stories, because when you're, we're not famous by any means, but when you're on stage and you're entertaining a crowd, it's like you feel like the need to do everything perfectly. And so the moment that you mess up, people are like, she's human.
Yes.
It's like it takes a mess up for them to be like, she's human. All right.
Yep.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's funny.
Absolutely. And then you try to be like, yeah, that didn't happen. Forget it. And then you go on the break and they're all like, that was great and you're like, can we just forget about it? Maybe.
Oh man. I have fallen into the drum set before.
Oh no.
Yeah, I have fallen. I mean, this was when Brent Shivers was in the band and I was new, but like, I think I underestimated the amount of steps back and I fell into the drums.
Oh gosh.
And when we played at Flobama one time, I was up on the speakers, and in between our speakers, there's like an opening. Mm-hmm. It's like a triangular opening. And I guess I hit it just right. And I thought that I had more space to back up on. And I slowly just fell backwards.
Oh no. Yeah. Slow motion.
Slow-mo. And then you got John and Wes Good sitting there looking at me like, what was that?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Everybody has their moment. I know Jake took a good fall at the Blue Iguana in Prattville one night. Anybody that was there remembers that one. He took a backwards dive off the side of the stage and landed in between the stage and the stairs on his back.
Exactly what you're talking about too.
Yes.
Oh,
he kept playing. It was great.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Good ones. My best fall was live bait in Orange Beach. I thought I would be cool and jump off the drum riser and misjudged my landing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, those moments make you stronger.
Yeah, I love it.
And how many times, because I can count on probably 4 hands. How many times have you said something over the microphone and then you stopped and you're like, wow, that sounded stupid?
Oh, you have no idea. Or maybe you do. So many times. I mean, especially when I was new to it, because and anybody who's been around will tell you, when I first started this, I just wanted to sing. I did not want to be a front person. I did not want to talk to the crowd. I didn't think I was funny. I didn't think I had a sense of humor. I didn't think I would say the right things. And it terrified me when a song would end, honestly, thinking that I would have to say something. And eventually, of course, I got over that and got better at it. But in the beginning, of course, I said some really stupid stuff. Tony will still remind me, and Nathan to this day, of I guess they call it the beach towel incident. It was probably one of my first shows, and I don't even know what story I was trying to tell and be funny, but it involved beach towels, and it wasn't funny at all. And they will always remind me of that one of my first really bad microphone mishaps. But even towards the end, once you think like, yeah, I'm a pro at this by now, but you will still slip up and just think, I can't believe I just said that. I must have sounded so stupid. Most of the time though, you overthink it and no one really caught it or
yeah. I still do it. I'm to the point where I'm just like, all right, well, whatever's going to come out is going to come out. And,
oh yeah.
If you think I'm stupid, that's fine.
Yeah. You get to the point where you just have to roll your eyes. And I would sometimes turn around, to Nathan or Tony after saying something. I could just see it in their face that they're like, really? Really?
I tell you what, I think it was like my first time playing at Flounders in Pensacola. And this girl in the front row, she had a shirt on that said, I love Bryan Adams. And so I read it over the microphone and like not even thinking about it. I was like, who's Bryan Adams? And then and then John starts playing Summer of '69 and he looks at me like, you're an idiot. I was like, wow. That was a pretty moment. That was a you're pretty moment. Oh God, that's the thing that we do. It's like when you do something stupid, it's like, you're so pretty.
Yes.
It's really bad, but like that's yeah.
Yeah. And you got to give it to the guys in the band who, they sometimes like that, like him just being like, you want to really say that? Let me show you why you shouldn't have said that.
Exactly. Well, and you never say it again. You never say something that stupid again.
Yeah. There was a few times I did or said things and I thought, well, I know that will never happen again because it was so embarrassing.
Oh, man. Okay, so with that said, what is the toughest thing that you've had to deal with being on the road and at shows? What's the hardest thing?
Oh, gosh. So I would say, in the, and I kind of already touched on this, but in the beginning for me, taking on that role of frontman, frontwoman, and really taking charge about it, especially because when we merged into YG, I had Nathan to fall back on because he had been doing it, and he would pick up my slack from everything from saying the right things to not having blank space in between songs to forget words, things like that. So I had him to fall back on, and eventually one night, this was at the War Eagle Supper Club. We took a break, and I remember we all were in the back room, and Tony looked at all of us, and he said, tonight, he said, we're changing this. He was like, Melinda is the lead. Nathan, don't do any of it anymore. She's got to take this on. Like, he just kind of like said, tonight you're getting thrown in, and you got to figure this out. Because I was just leaning a little too much, and I was too nervous and scared. And, it kind of took that. And even like the first few shows after that, things would happen, and I would look over to Nathan, and he would just kind of shrug and look at me like, you got to figure this out. So, it was a good thing for me. And I did, I figured it out from there, but that was probably the toughest, was just going from all I wanted to do was sing. I was fine when I was singing. I had no nerves. Like the minute I started singing, I was good, but the minute the music stopped, I was terrified. And I think a lot of people, especially that saw us there towards the end, probably wouldn't expect that. But yeah, that was really tough for me. I'd say the rest of it I took on pretty easily. The van rides and being on the road and dealing with bar owners and managers and staff and people in the crowd. I'd say probably the other tough thing for me for a long time was when you get those shows that are just dead nights.
Yep.
Nobody's there, and especially when you're a new band starting out, you hit that a lot, especially in places that are new venues for you, and you really cannot let that get to you, but it will eat you alive if you stand there thinking like, no one's here to see us, nobody cares. So that was tough to get over. It took a long time to just know that those shows were going to happen.
Yeah, it's inevitable. I mean, even, Flyby still gets that every once in a while. I mean, I'm not, I kind of sounded a little, but no, like, I think we played Blue Iguana for Halloween, 2 years ago. And I mean, I've never played there before. So I didn't really know what to expect. And I thought the venue was really cool. I thought like it was a really neat atmosphere, and I was really pumped. I was really excited, but we didn't have a whole lot of people there. I think maybe tops there was 30 people there.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, okay, this, it's just, it still happens. It's inevitable. Sometimes you get a good night and sometimes you get kind of a rough night, but you just kind of roll through it and
right. You have to learn to do that. Cause like I said, those nights will eat at you if you let them.
Oh yeah. And it's those nights that really, it's more of like a practice night. So you are able to see what goes over with a crowd, what doesn't, what you shouldn't say.
Yeah, you will learn from those nights for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's not the great nights with hundreds of people loving everything you do.
Yeah, those are easy nights. It's those nights.
That's a hard pill to swallow because that's all you want is those hundreds or thousands of people nights, with just loving everything that you say and do, but that's not always going to happen.
Nope. It's very humbling.
Yeah, of course.
Especially, and I'm going to bring this up because between you and Amy Moore, who I'm going to get on here eventually, she's a singer of Misuse, now the band Style.
Absolutely.
But when I first joined Flyby, I think I sat on my high horse for a while, and then when we started getting booked a lot of shows, and I started to lose my voice, I felt like I had just been knocked to the ground. I mean, reality had just been thrown in my face at that point. Yeah. And I remember coming to you, and I'm like, "What do you do?" Because I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I'm really glad you brought that up because back to your question about tough things to get over. I really forgot about that, honestly. I think purposefully because it was so terrifying. That was tough in the beginning. Getting my stamina built up to be able to sing 2, 3, 4 or more nights in a row. I remember at the very beginning, sometimes after one night, having vocal trouble. And a lot of it was caused by improper warm-ups, improper vocal technique, too much of this or too little of that. And then, pair it with the partying and the drinking and everything else. You really start to realize that you don't get it quite as easy as the other guys in the band, where it doesn't matter really how they're feeling. They're going to still pick their guitar up and it's going to pretty much sound the same. But if you've got no sound coming through your vocal cords and your throat and coming out of your mouth, it's scary. It's a really scary thing. And you have to learn to take care of your body even better than the rest of the band thinks about taking care of their instruments. Because you have to be so aware of what you eat and what you drink.
Yep.
And how you say things, and if you talk to people between sets, and you quickly become really aware of how much that stuff matters. And it took me, contacting a couple of people. I contacted Amy, and she was so sweet. She sent me a little care package one of the times that I actually contacted to her about vocal trouble, and she said, hey, this is the stuff I use. I hope it helps. And there's different things that work for everybody. I found that out because there's certain things that people told me worked for them that did not work for me. And mine came down to a combination of the 90% of it was a proper warm up, warming up before and after the show. I didn't realize how big of a deal even a 5-minute warm up is. But if you get up there, especially playing rock and roll, and just start screaming your heart out and you got your adrenaline pumping, you just forget, you forget to breathe right. You forget to use your techniques. And if you haven't warmed up, it will haunt you after that night. And the next night you try to sing and nothing comes out. And some of it was from being sick. There were some allergy troubles and stuff I ran into. And so anytime that I had drainage, that if you let that drainage sit on your vocal cords for any amount of time, it's going to affect them. And then, like I said, the next day, then all of a sudden you've got no voice and you're going, but I have to have a voice. I have to sing tonight. So,
yep. I had that problem, recently, actually. A few months back, I had a major sinus infection, and we had like 3 days that we were supposed to play. It was like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And, I played that Thursday, and towards the end of the night, I'm not kidding you, I had no voice. And the next morning I woke up and had no voice, and I went to like a doc in a box. Yep. And I could barely speak, and he told me, he says, you are not singing tonight. And they actually had to get Kelly from the band Loxley to fill in that night. And it really hurts you so bad, because you're like, well, not only am I letting my band down, but now I gotta pull somebody away from whatever they've got going on that night to help out. Thankfully, she was able to do it. But yeah, man, that sinus infections are no joke.
And that's hard. It's heartbreaking. I mean, I'll never forget some of the nights that I had to go through. Thank God for the guys in my band that they all are able to sing, and we set it up where, because it happened so many times, that if that were to happen, we eventually got where we had a game plan in place. Nathan would pick up these songs and Tony would add in these and Jake would pick these up. One of the worst nights ever was at Iron Horse. And I'll never forget, Jerry was back there in the back bringing me hot toddies. And I would just go out probably every 3 songs, sing one, and then go back into the room, and Nathan picked up a few, and I'd come, I did probably 1 song for every 3 that night. It's embarrassing, and you've got your friends and family and everything telling you, you can't be embarrassed about it. You can't help it, but it's tough. Like you said, you're letting the band down, you're letting the fans down. And they're all so nice about it, that they, at the end of the night, everybody's patting you on the back. Like, we could tell you were struggling and you still got up there and did what you could,
Yeah.
So it always works out. But in your head, you're always thinking about, well, what if there's people here that are just seeing us for the first time?
Yeah.
They're never going to come back. And
Exactly.
It's scary, but my band stuck with me through it for sure. And I thank God for that. And they were really good to me about it and understanding. And then eventually I got to where I was able to power through it. I'd say most of the time, you still have those times when, an allergy or sinus infection hits you and there's literally nothing you can do.
Yep. That's what I envy about the guys, though. Sometimes I'm like, you know what? I know your fingers hurt, and I know when it's cold, it really sucks for you guys. But you guys can be so sick, like even vomiting. And all you need is a bucket to the next to you, and you can still play.
Of course,
like, you're still good. But if I get sick, I'm screwed.
Yes, yeah.
So that, yeah.
Yeah, I'm super glad you brought that up because, like I said, asking about a tough thing you had to get over. I think I kind of blocked that out of my memory, but that was definitely one of the top ones.
That's, and I want this to be discussed so much because for people who are trying to start a band now or people who are in a band now, I just want you to know that it is so common for these things to happen because and don't take this anyway other than I thought it was amazing. Like I said, my first year, I was on my high horse, and then I just got knocked down after probably 6 months with these problems, thinking, oh my gosh, what am I doing wrong? Like, I can't do this. Maybe I'm not bred for this. But then I remember there was a video that was posted of a live feed. I can't remember where you guys were, but I remember you were singing Don't Stop Believin'.
Yeah, I remember where it
was. It's like you're out. And it was prime allergy season, so it was obvious what it was. And you were struggling, and you could tell that it was hurting you, and you were trying, and that crowd was really helping you finish that song. And I thought that was awesome. But it also made me think, oh my gosh, okay, so it's normal to have this happen. This is okay. And it happens to other singers too.
Yes. Yeah, you're right.
Because in my mind, I'm thinking, maybe I'm just not bred for this. And I don't want anybody to think that just because they lose their voice during shows that it's them and they can't sing that song. No, there are obstacles. It's hard. And that's probably one of the main things about being a singer is, I don't even get scared on stage anymore when it comes to the amount of people in front of me. What I do is like, I have to psych myself up to be like, you got this and you're not going to lose your voice tonight. Because it's common. It happens. Yeah.
And it's not really, like you said, it's not really talked about. Mm-mm. And so coming into it, when it first happened, I was same as you. I'm like, what? Okay. Maybe I wasn't meant for this then, because I didn't know this was going to happen. I thought I was just going to sing every night. Mm-hmm. And then it would happen. We would get over it. And a few weeks down the road, it'd happen again. And like I said, you're right, because it's not really talked about. It's not something that is kind of said to you or taught to you when you're trying to learn to do what we do. And that makes it really hard because you start to think, well, this isn't right, but it's absolutely common. Mm-hmm. And that night was really memorable. I'll never forget that night. We were at Casey's Timeout in Evansville, Indiana. And we played there 2 nights in a row. First night went great. And I woke up the next morning and called Chad, the manager there. And I said, I have never said this to you before, but I don't know that we're going to be able to play tonight. It was the first time that we actually almost canceled a show, was how bad my voice was that night. But we didn't cancel it. Nathan, same thing we had done before. The guys took on some extra songs, and I just got up there and was completely real with the crowd. And sometimes you just have to be that way. And it never let us down, never disappointed us. This is one of our top-notch favorite venues to play, and we weren't going to cancel on you tonight. It's not going to be the best you've ever heard, but I'm just going to ask for your help. If I stick the mic out, you guys got to help me. And they did.
Yeah, I thought that was amazing because it shows in the video, they were just so supportive and so understanding, and I thought that was awesome.
It was great, and that's what makes that place one of the places I miss so much, and all those people, that venue, the staff, and everything. That's one of the reasons that place was so fantastic.
Yeah, that place is really cool.
Oh yeah,
yeah, we played there last summer.
Top notch venue. Love that place.
But so do you think after? I mean, I know obviously you got to have the baby and you got to take care of the baby, but do you think that once the child goes to school, this is obviously 5 years in the making.
Yeah.
Once he or she goes to school, or wait, do we know the sex of the baby?
Yeah, it's a girl.
Oh, that's so awesome. Yeah. Okay, so once she goes to school, do you think that you'll pick up the music thing again? Do you think maybe you'll ever restart your girlfriend?
It's so up in the air because there's some days that I think there's no way I could let that go forever and never set foot on stage again. And I don't think that will happen. Me never setting foot on stage again. I don't think it will be that. Restarting the band as, a full-time thing or even hobby thing here or there. I don't know. I don't know if that would happen. But to say that YG may never play a show again or that I would never get on stage again, I wouldn't say that much. much. I think that somewhere down the road, we will probably try to make something happen. I know that there are days that I could just cry for how much I miss everybody and miss being on stage and miss singing. And same for Tony. He has a lot of talent behind that drum kit, and he put a lot more years into it even than I did singing. I started so late. He put a lot of time into it, and we go back and forth about should he sell his kit and things like that. And it makes it all that much more real. But I know I couldn't even tell you which one of us, misses it more necessarily. I know we both miss different parts of it and for different reasons. So I think one day we will find a way to get up there again. I would love nothing more than to get me and Tony and Jake and Nathan on stage again at some point in the future. And I think we made enough of a name for ourselves that there are venues out there that would totally be with that and let that happen.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm thankful for that. I have a few, in fact, that have told me, anytime. So it's just a matter of getting the baby here and getting things settled in. And I might put my brain to work one day and try to figure something out.
Oh, well, if you ever, even like anytime, if you're ever at a Flyby show, I'm pulling you up. So just keep that in mind that you will definitely be up there to sing with us.
Well, thank you. Yeah, so that would be an honor for sure. And like I said, once baby's here and we get settled in, maybe we'll take off for a date night one night or something and go see a show, because I miss that too. I miss there was so much amount of time that went by where we weren't able to go see a lot of other shows, but I miss even just being in the crowd watching another band. It's just good vibes and all that, so I have to get back out there sometime whenever I'm not huge anymore.
Oh, stop. Speaking of which, I am like so upset, and I can speak for so many other people. They're like, we're not getting more baby pictures.
I know.
Like the bump, like the progression of the bump, because that's the exciting part, especially for women.
I know.
Because they're like, where's the bump?
Probably the way I've been posting kind of went from like one picture I barely had one to all of a sudden, like the last picture I posted, I think like a few days ago, was like, oh, there's definitely a bump there now.
I know. I saw that. I was like, wow. Okay. So like MIA and then bump.
Yeah. So that's hard, and not to get too deep into that, but it's, you could talk about women and body image all day. But it's been a hard thing for me. It's been, I know pregnancy's beautiful and I totally get that and everything, but, it's been tough going from me, stage me, with my crop tops and pleather pants and everything and trying to keep myself in shape and, just always being the size that I was for so many years, to not that size anymore. And it's hard to understand until you're pregnant, because it's a weird thing, but because that you're supposed to gain weight. Of course, that's healthy and that's normal, but you gain it sometimes in places that you didn't really want to, and your rib cage expands, and like it's not, it's just different. Your whole body changes, and I'll admit it's been a thing that's been a little bit hard for me to deal with. I have a lot of swelling. So like even just seeing pictures of myself, just my face, I'm like, that doesn't look like me, like someone traded my body parts out for someone else for 9 months, and so that has been tough. And it's probably been behind the lack of photos. I'll try to be better though. 'Cause I know it is
to your comfort level.
Yeah, and it is exciting for everybody, and I know there's folks out there that are being really supportive and throwing baby showers and sending me gifts and everything, which I can't even explain. I'm just thankful. I'm thankful for everybody, and so I should at least return that with some bump pics.
or your girlfriend reunion. Yeah, I think they'll settle for that.
And you know what would be so cool? Like, if, like you said a second ago, this is down the road a few years, I'm sure, but like, how cool would it be to have a reunion show and have my little girl be there, mine and Tony's little girl be there and be able to see.
Oh my gosh.
Like, to not just watch videos of us when we were at our prime, but like actually see us get back up there and do it.
Oh,
I think that would be
so awesome. Well, so. and then like when she gets to like the age, like my boyfriend Aaron's daughter Layla, she's 6. And so like she's at the age where she thinks I'm like the cool rock star stepmom. And so she likes to go through my closet and wear my spandex.
Yes.
She'll go through it all. And so like when we played at Flounders and she was there, like there was one night where she's like, I want to look like you.
Aww.
So like you'll have that moment and it's going to like just melt your heart, especially because it's a girl. So she's going to be like all about your clothes.
Yes. And did you post a picture or make a post about that or something?
About Layla?
About her trying your clothes on?
I did she was, she had just turned 6 and like I had all my bags out and she's like, what's this? I want to put this on. And I'm like, okay, go for it.
When you did that, I want to say when you posted that was actually when we were getting ready to move into the new house. This was like just a few months ago or something, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So you actually inspired me when you posted that because I was at a loss of what to do with all of my stage clothes because I didn't want to get rid of all of them. But at the same time, I'm like, I got a lot of stage clothes. I got a whole, suitcase full of stage clothes and accessories. What do I do here? And you posted that and it gave me inspiration to just keep it all. I just packed it all in my road suitcase, which is busting at the seams. And I said, one day my daughter can take this stuff out and look at it and try it on and it will be awesome.
And she'll love it. And by that, and then by the time that it actually like it fits, she's going to be in high school and she's going to be like, can I wear that? I can put like a denim jacket over this. Like this will look cute. So yeah, no, totally. Pacey Harris did that too. The original lead singer of Fly By Radio. When I first joined the band, she hooked me up. Like I have a lot of her spandex.
I have some of hers too.
Yeah, she told me that. She told me that when I bought mine. But I said, well, you saved some for your girl, right? She goes, oh yeah, I saved like 3 pairs, so she'll have those at least. So I was like, okay, good.
That's awesome.
So yes, that is very important, and that makes me so excited. I mean, I might have subconsciously known that you were having a girl, like because have you announced that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so subconsciously I might have known that, but it might have slipped my mind. But I am so excited that you're having a girl. That is awesome.
Yeah, we're excited.
That is so amazing. So have you started decorating the bedroom yet?
We just got the nursery painted, I think, last weekend. We went through a time trying to pick out paint. Worst nightmare ever. But we finally got paint that I was agreeable on and got it painted. And my stepmom actually is like super decorator, and she always picks out the cutest stuff. And I'm at the point where I'm just like, she's way better at it than I am, and I totally trust her. So she is essentially doing most of the decorating for me. Right. She's picked out a lot of stuff. She always runs the stuff by me, but I always think everything's super cute. So, yeah, so she's going to probably come over soon, and we have a lot of it already. It's just getting it all hung on the walls. So.
Right.
And our nursery theme is Rock Band Safari.
Oh, that is so cool.
It's safari animals playing instruments. So
oh man.
Still sticking with the rock band theme a little bit.
That is so awesome. Well,
and I will put pictures up once we get it done, I promise.
Please.
I will.
I'm just being greedy because I'm all about, being nosy in other people's lives, but that's just
it's fine.
But thank you so much for being on episode number 2. I am so happy that you agreed to do it.
Yes, thank you.
I know I've exceeded over 30 minutes of your time. I'm sorry. There's so much to ask.
I know, and we could probably go on and talk for forever. So maybe we'll just have to do a part 2, like a few months.
Yeah.
I'm down for that. I'm super honored that you asked me. And to be number 2, like that's awesome. Right here at the beginning. So hopefully we get some listeners and share it out there and try to get you some likes on that page. I think what you're doing is really awesome. And I mean, the fact that you just not only thought of it, but then actually put it together and made it happen. So props to you for that.
Thank you. So far, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a little nerve-wracking in some areas, but it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, I think it's awesome, and I think that you're going to do great.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So Melinda Trussel, everyone. Now Melinda Guy from Your Girlfriend. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well, we'll see you later.
All right. Hopefully part 2 sometime soon. We'll talk soon.
All right.
Bye-bye.